Welcome to Unsubscribe. I'm your host, Avani Jain. In this podcast, I'm going to show you how to intentionally opt out of anything that's robbing you of your energy, freedom, joy, and peace of mind. It's time to let it all go, finally, so that you can clear your mental inboxes and make space to subscribe to a life that truly lights your soul. If you're ready, hop in. We are embarking on the transformation of a lifetime. Hello. Welcome back to another episode 23 of Unsubscribe. I am excited to finally be doing this episode because I feel like I've been talking about it in several past episodes and it's time to chat. I read Cal Newport's book, Slow Productivity, maybe a month and a half ago, and it has really changed the way I'm approaching everything when it comes to things that feel like work or things that feel like doing. And I'm very grateful because I feel like it was giving me vocabulary to talk about my new thoughts and feelings about productivity, about getting things done, about doing things. And like I said in the last episode, I have this identity tie that I'm working on unraveling, which is tying my worth to my productivity, to my achievement, to my ability to do and accomplish and to create outputs. And I'm just really tired of that. I'm tired of being that person who's doing all the time. And I want to sit. And you can ask my husband this. I'm very much not amazing at it. And yet I'm here showing up, talking to you about it, and practicing it on a daily basis. So I want to share some of the impactful pieces that came out of reading this book. Cal Newport has written some really amazing books. He has Digital Minimalism, which was such a good book. And he also has written some other books on deep work and productivity in a different way, like how do we think and view work. He's someone who really studies work and how we as a society get things done. And I love this book and conversation about slow productivity because it was really birthed from the era of the pandemic, 2020 and 2021. And there was this massive shift in the way we do work together, the way we are in corporate and the way we are in companies. We became what looked like the super hyper productive society, but what were we actually accomplishing? And what were we getting done? And Cal Newport actually talks about this era that we're in as an era of pseudo productivity. We are doing things all the time. And if you look at your colleague or you look at people you work with, they feel like they're doing things all the time. Everyone's doing lots of stuff. But what do they have for show for it? What do they have to show that they've accomplished? What are the milestones they're hitting? What are the needles that they're moving? What are the results they are getting? And Cal Newport suggests that we have gotten so much into the act of doing all the time and proving that we are busy, wearing busy as a badge of honor, that has become the goal, to show that we're busy rather than to be busy to get things done that are meaningful, which is insane. And what's really interesting is that this was actually born out of the Industrial Revolution. Once again, we're back to the Industrial Revolution, the birth of the 40-hour work week, and also the birth of pseudo productivity. Because what happened during that time was people were moving off of the factory floor if they were doing a good job and into the offices. They were doing paperwork, they were organizing things, they were checking things, quality check, I don't know, all these different other roles that started to come into existence. And in order to be in the nice, cushy office that was on the second level and not on the factory floor, they had to continue to look like they were busy so that they wouldn't be sent back to the factory floor. So there was an incentive to look busy. And that busyness has stayed with us as people are less and less working as factory workers and more working, at least here in the US, more and more working in other roles in knowledge worker jobs. They are now moving into or continuing to stay in this area of pseudo productivity, doing lots of things all the time that are producing questionable results or maybe no results at all. So Cal is suggesting in this book, and I highly recommend you read this book because I'm just giving you a little summary of the things that really stood out to me. And I'll share a little bit about what I'm taking away and implementing in my own work from it. He suggests 3 things in his framework. He suggests that we want to do the things that matter the most. So we must drastically reduce our obligations, which is kind of a radical mindset shift. Because today, in order to excel in a workplace, you have to be the one who does it all. You have to be the one who figures it out all the time. And you have to be the one doing the most. Literally everything we're unsubscribing to on this podcast, you have to do if you want to excel in the workplace, which is fine, or at least you want to look like you're excelling, which is fine. But are you actually producing results? Are you bringing your company more dollars? Are you bringing them more customers? Are you actually helping them move forward in their goals? Or are you just spinning your wheels or allowing the company to spin their wheels and spend their funding and nothing's really happening? Like, what are you there to do? Do you actually want to get things done and see success for this whole company? Maybe you don't, and that's okay too. Like, okay, maybe then spinning your wheels is fine and you can just ride it out for as long as this show goes on or this train goes on. But if you actually want to create results, and if you're an entrepreneur, you probably want to create results, right? You want to see that revenue number go up. You want to see that customer account go up. Then you must reduce your obligations. And I talk about this a lot. It's in theme with widening the base of support, which I talk about in the last episode. Get other people to help you with stuff so you can do what matters the most that only you can do. It's about staying in your zone of genius. It's hard to do. And it also means being ruthless and saying no a lot. Leaving people on red, which is something I'm practicing doing. I have a few messages that I just didn't respond to about hanging out. And it's very, very hard for the people pleaser in me. Very hard. Like, I can feel a little bit of stickiness when I say that, but I'm reducing my obligations in order to make time for the things I want to do the most. Spend time with my husband, spend time by myself, spend time on the podcast, spend time on matcha dates with friends. I really just want to do these things and enjoy my life and enjoy the space and enjoy being. And in order to do that, I have to say no more, reduce my obligations. So I'm practicing that. The second thing Cal talks about is your biggest goals. They need time, lots of time. Don't rush them. And this is something I've struggled with because in the entrepreneur space, I feel this sense of everything needs to happen big and it has to happen right now. Like, there's this rush, the need to do it fast, the need to do it now. And it's an impulsion because why? I don't know, capitalism, the patriarchy, take your pick. We're just like more for the sake of more. And great. If that is truly what lights you up and feels fun, sure, do it as long as it lasts. But I promise you there's going to be a time where maybe it doesn't feel fun anymore. And so I'm really sinking into this idea of what is it that I actually want to create in this world? And does it matter if it takes a few months, a few years, or even a decade or more? And I think about that in the context of this podcast. I am here to talk about the concept of unsubscribe. I'm here to share that this is a way of being. I'm here to expand people's view and show them what life could be like. What life could be like if they opt out, unsubscribe, and then opt in to things that actually serve them, that they actually want, that they choose intentionally. And I don't need this to happen overnight. Like, who cares if it happens tomorrow? Who cares if it even happens this year? If only 5 more people listen to my podcast this year, the year of 2024, I have impacted 5 people's lives in an incredible way because I know my stuff is good. My stuff's really good, you guys. I know that. And I'm okay if it's just 5 people this year because there's going to be a compound effect. Those 5 people will tell 5 other people who will tell some more people who will tell some more people. And maybe in 10 years, I have thousands, tens of thousands of people listening to this podcast. Wow. If it took 10 years for me to get 10,000 listeners per episode, I'm okay with that. Like, sure, let it be 10 years, but we're starting a movement. We're starting a movement that's going to be beyond this year, beyond this part of my life, beyond this era. And it's the era of unsubscribe. That's going to live on. And I want that to be this concept that people can really sink into and take forward to the rest of their lives and also maybe share with other people. It is a movement. So who cares if it doesn't pop off right away? Because I have been feeling a little insecure. Like, my podcast is great and a lot of listeners listen to it. Like, hundreds of people are listening to this thing. Thank you all for listening. And at the same time, it's not like the top charts. It's not being shared all the time on the interwebs. And that's just my ego being like, oh, what, hers was shared. Everyone talks about hers. Hers hit the top charts, or theirs hit the top chart. Who cares? Mine is hitting the top charts when it needs to, and it's getting to the right people. And I'm okay with it taking a lot of time. I'm okay with slow productivity. And one day someone's going to look at my podcast and be like, wow, you did this. And it was such a quick success. I'm like, no, it actually wasn't. Here's what went into it. And I'm going to talk about this book, Slow Productivity. Every single day, I'm focusing on quality. I'm focusing on good ideas, good content, and things that I feel really resonate with me, things that are put inside of me to share with you. That is what I'm focusing on. And I'm okay if this takes a long time to reach the people it needs to reach. I'm fully okay with that. And I can't tell you how freeing that is. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Cal Newport. The third thing I just alluded to, which is be obsessed with the quality of your work. Oh my gosh. This is also freeing because I know that all I have to do is show up another day and put my all into the best podcast episodes for you, for all of you, the best content for all of you to listen to really feel and sink into and learn from and then implement. That's what I want from this podcast. And that's why I take so much time and effort in thinking about what I'm going to share. And sometimes podcast episodes I talk about like come out months or weeks later because I'm allowing them to marinate and allowing new pieces to fall into place before I share it with you. I want it to be top notch. I want it to be something that you turn on and feel so lit up by, and I feel so lit up by, and it's fun for all of us to be in this energy together. And that's why I'm obsessed with creating this podcast as a work of art that is super high quality. And that's the third piece of the framework that Cal Newport talks about in this book. I am obsessed with this book. I can't wait to re-listen to it because it was so eye-opening for me. And I think it will be so helpful for you because it gives me the freedom to go at this whole thing in a way that makes sense. Life, work, unsubscribe, my agency, Matcha Design Labs. It allows me to work on it at my pace. It allows me to create the results I want that I actually care about now because my results are really amazing, but I don't care about making the most money ever all the time anymore. In Matcha Design Labs, for sure, and unsubscribe, I'm not making a dime right now. I'm welcoming money when it comes to me, but that's not the goal. The goal is impact. And then for my agency, the focus is making a business that is producing high quality work for our clients, creating really amazing, fun work for our team, and allowing that to continue to be a positive relationship and allowing it to provide an income for me that feels really good, that I feel compensated for my time and for my effort and my energy. And that is the exchange, and it's amazing, and it runs itself. Like, we have amazing systems in place, and I just love that this agency gets to be an example of that. And that's all it is. Like, I have it designed in this way so that it produces the quality of life that I want. And it's not about producing the income, the biggest income ever. I do like a good income. And you'll see me talk about this on Reels and how I built this amazing business that I'm running on less than 15 hours a week. But that income goal is not the number one thing anymore. And I just feel so freed by that fact. And this was a permission slip I needed. Cal Newport, you're my guy. Thank you. Thank you for this permission slip. And if you are looking for that permission slip to dive into quality, to create good work, to put out into the world, to allow it to take time, and to allow it to be what you need it to be and not what society says it should be, then I invite you to listen to this book, Slow Productivity by Cal Newport. Audible is my friend because sitting down and reading is hard for me right now. So I listened to this in the car on Audible, and it was just such a fun listen. And I hope you love it too. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. I will talk to you soon.